Hi guys, this is Simone Ferris. Welcome to week 5. It's almost over. Mine is being submitted late, unfortunately. But this has been a really interesting topic of myths and our views of myths and how the details of myth making happens in our culture. I think it's interesting how, sometimes the reading that you are required to read is always the most beneficial. I think I really learned a lot about the use of myths in that chapter 9 of The Myth of the American Hero by Robert Jewett and John Lawrence. The quote in the beginning of the chapter by Mortimer Adler of Art and Prudence regarding the art of Disney, it read, "Disney's art reaches greatness, a degree of perfection in its field which surpasses our best critical capacity to analyze and succeed in pleasing children and simple folk." I think everybody was amazed at how he just was relatable to everyone and how he stayed within that code of for the Motion Pictures Association. The quote sets the tone of the chapter because it describes who Walt Disney was. And he was basically at first, really a person that considered American values and was naturally a decent man with genius storytelling capabilities, per the writer's views. His use of semiotics continued, like the veils of signs hidden in the plots of his text. He created films also that represented what people needed to get away in their mind and not try to deal with reality. The irony in the Disney films, though, was that even though much stuck to the code and it was required to seem neutral in most situations, Disney actually became more of a democratic distributor or educator, as you could say, in teaching people about what was going on around them. The writer, though, challenged the readers to take a deeper look into the narratives and describing how they gain these loyal audiences to fight against evil. Kind of an irony in that. But also, as a side note, I really liked the article, the PDF mythography by Doty, which really broke down what myths mean to the world and how it's described and communicated throughout our culture. That was really interesting. That was a great article, I thought. Basically also raising the question, can we commit to a democratic way of life while creating a fantasy world through entertainment? And that's really what kind of helped me think about what I want to do with this mythic analysis essay. But that reading of chapter 9 in The Myth of the American Superhero was definitely something that stood out. It made me question, what the difference in myths that are created in our culture and how it leaves a different impression on everybody. I'm not sure that it was necessarily a positive impact, more of an informational impact as to how we view Walt Disney and his myth-making skills. The third reflective essay or discussion that we were required to do was to talk about how some of the reading changed or altered our views. I feel like reading Dark Knight was really interesting. At first I was a little intimidated by reading a comic book because I've never read a comic book, and with that, even a graphic novel of that detailed commentary, but the colorful pictures it was really an exciting thing to read. I was really excited and wanted to learn more. It was graphic, it was adult. It had a lot of adult themes in it. The conversations amongst each other was really interesting. I found it really interesting. So it kind of heightened my curiosity to possibly start reading comic books. it was very, very interesting to me. So I think that I won't be as intimidated to read them anymore, and actually might consider reading one myself. And the previewing the approach as to how I'll be approaching The Dark Knight and the adaptation of the mythic the analyzing the mythic ideas. I think what I'll do start off first is understanding the power of myth, across our culture and throughout history, and taking time to evaluate the differences in the film and the graphic novels, studying my notes on each section, collecting all the characters and importance, reviewing sections of the plot to describe the superhero mythology, and work to understand the functions of the myth. Also evaluating the relationships between mythic ideas and versus religious and social values. So that's all I have. That was my ideas and what I came up with. I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks.